Hey, what is up guys? My name is Oleg, this is Bond. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to do a review of a chronograph from Straton Watch Company. The name of this chronograph is Legera. I've been wanting to review one of Straton chronographs for a real long time. I've been following their company from a distance and I really like what they're doing. They're taking some of the vintage 1970s racing chronograph styles and bringing them into the new age. I think we need more of that type of thinking. Now, when they reached out to me and offered to send not one, but 4 different chronographs in for review, needless to say, I was very excited. The watch was launched on Kickstarter a couple of days ago, and it's already fully funded. That's how popular these watches are. So, are they any good? Was I disappointed? Well, let's get into it. Straton Watch Company Legera chronograph. This review can get quite complicated, as the watch comes in 2 different case variations, the bullhead and the standard case. It also comes with 3 different movement variations and 5 different color variations. I'm going to try to keep this review as simple as possible by trying to focus on one chronograph at a time and then give you some comparisons by the end of this video. So let's start the review by looking at the case dimensions of a standard case chronograph. We have a case diameter of 44 millimeters, a lug-to-lug width of 49 millimeters, a lug width of 22 millimeters, and the thickness of 16.5 millimeters, including the domed sapphire crystal. The watch in my hands is the standard case version with the mecha-quartz movement. The watch also comes with the automatic version. So the one on the right, Seiko mecha-quartz VK67. The one on the left comes with the Bezel 7753 automatic movement. Of course, other than the styling of the 2 different watches, there's also a price difference between the 2 watches. So currently the watches are on Kickstarter and they have been fully funded. Automatic version is $875. The mecha-quartz version is $375. Both watches come with the stainless steel cases. The finishes on the cases are pretty great. We have all brushed finish with a bit of chamfering here, a domed sapphire crystal with some AR coating, a screw down case back, giving this watch 100 meters of water resistance. I also quite like the way this case back is designed. Straton Company logo in the center and this kind of web of lines. We have the crown at the 3 o'clock position. It is a signed crown with the Straton Watch Company logo, and the watches come on this leather racing strap. You could also upgrade for $40 extra to a stainless steel bracelet. So now let's compare this standard case to the bullhead case. The differences are quite clear, where on the standard case the crown is at the 3 o'clock position, on a bullhead it's at the 12 o'clock position. This bullhead chronograph comes with a diameter of 42 millimeters, a lug-to-lug width of 44 millimeters, a lug width of 22 millimeters, and the thickness a hair under 17 millimeters for the automatic version. However, this bullhead version also comes with the mecha-quartz movement, just like the standard case version. And the only difference between the 2, other than the price, of course, is the fact that the mecha-quartz version is thinner. So the thickness on this case, the mecha-quartz bullhead version, is 14 millimeters. Quite a difference there, 2.5 millimeters. So it's definitely noticeable. If you put them side by side, you can see the difference is very apparent. There's also quite a bit of difference in the way these watches fit on the hand. This is what the bullhead case automatic version looks like on my 7.25 inch wrist. As you can see, the case is quite tall. It is also taller by the crown and pushers than it is by the 6 o'clock position, to create this effect of a better viewing angle. However, it is quite a bit more uncomfortable than the mecha-quartz version, because it is thicker and heavier. Here's what the mecha-quartz bullhead version looks like on my 7.25 inch wrist. As I said, I do prefer this fit a lot more. I think it looks better on the wrist and it is definitely more comfortable out of the two. However, my favorite fit has to be from the standard case version. I love how it fits on the wrist. It is a big watch. Let's not kid ourselves. 44mm diameter. It's also quite thick. So you have to have a bigger size wrist to pull this watch off, or you have to be into bigger watches. Also, one thing to note is that on my 7¼ inch wrist, I'm currently wearing it on the second to last or to first, depending on which way you look at it, hole. So if you have a smaller wrist than, let's say, 7 inches, the watch, at least on this leather strap, will probably not fit your wrist because it's going to be too loose. Whichever version of this watch you choose, they all come with this GMT style bezel. The bezel action is okay. There is quite a bit of backplay, as you can see. It doesn't feel as solid as it could. However, there are some positives to this bezel. Number one, it is a sapphire bezel insert. And number two, it is loomed. In fact, the hands are loomed, and there is some loom on the hour markings. Let me pop a loom shot on the screen right now. As you can see, the loom is actually pretty solid. For a chronograph watch, it doesn't last that long, but it still is pretty solid. I really do like the design of these watches. There is so much detail to this dial. We have all applied markings for the hours. We have 3 sub-dials with these arrowhead type of hands. We also have the applied Straton logo by the 12 o'clock position. There's even a tachymeter hidden in the inside of the bezel. And that's standard for all versions of this chronograph. So how do the movements compare? On the right, we have the automatic version. On the left, we have the mecha-quartz version. Well, let's start the chronographs and see. Just by looking at the chronograph hand, it's very hard to distinguish between the two. In fact, it's pretty much impossible to tell which one is automatic and which one is the mecha-quartz version. However, looking at the seconds hand for the main timekeeping, it's very easy to tell. The quartz version here on the left ticks 1 tick at a time, versus the automatic Bezel version has a smooth sweep. Also notice that the positioning of these subdials is different on both watches. We have on the left here the mecha-quartz version. The main running seconds hand is by the 6 o'clock position. Then we have the minute tracker for the chronograph by 9 o'clock position. We also have the 24-hour indicator by the 3 o'clock position. On the right hand side with the automatic movement version, we have a subdial by 9 o'clock position. That's the seconds timekeeping for the main watch function. By the 6 o'clock position, that's the hours tracker for the chronograph. And by the 3 o'clock position, that's the minutes tracker for the chronograph. So this movement does go up to 12 hours of a chronograph timekeeping. Pretty impressive. Also notice how much detail there is on those subdials. We have these concentric circles. We also have quite a bit of depth. Very, very beautiful watch to look at. Similar design and detail features are also present on the bullhead chronographs. As you can see, the dials are pretty much identical. We also have the chronograph function, of course. If we push the pusher by 11 o'clock position, that starts the chronograph. The same thing on the mecha-quartz version. The movement in terms of the feel, I do prefer the automatic. It feels smoother somehow. It feels a little bit more satisfying. Might be a little psychological as well, because I know it's an automatic movement. The mecha-quartz does feel very satisfying, and it is mechanical for the most part. It's a mechanical module that's been added on top of the quartz movement. So it does feel quite a bit like automatic movement. I still do prefer the automatic to the mecha-quartz. I also like the design of these bullhead cases. They might not be very practical because these crowns do catch on your clothing, but they are very cool and very retro to look at. I also prefer the crown operation on the bullhead case as opposed to the standard case of this chronograph. My second negative with the watch, I guess, would be that these crowns, even though they are beautiful to look at, they are signed. and have some texturing to them. Really well done. They aren't that easy to operate. I wish maybe they were a tad bigger to make the operation of the movement a bit easier. All right, guys, so that was the full review for Legera Chronograph from Straton Watch Company. What do I think about it? I think the styling of it and the design of it is very interesting, very great, totally something that I would really enjoy. Does it have some negatives? Yes, I pointed out all of the negatives as I found them in the review portion of this video. I forgot to mention one more negative, and it's something to do with the movement. Both the mecha-quartz version and the automatic version come with a date function. However, there is no date window cut out on the dial of this watch, so there is a ghost position. When you pull out the crown to the first position, as you turn it back and forth, it doesn't really do anything. That's a bit of a negative for me personally. Might not be a big deal for you. It's just something I forgot to mention, so I thought I'd bring it up now. Also, the pricing. I think the mechanical or the automatic version at $875 is a pretty good deal. That's the one that I would go for. If I had a choice to buy any one of these watches, I'd probably go for the standard case automatic version. The mecha-quartz version at $375 is also not bad, but I don't know, paying almost $400 for a mecha-quartz movement, even though the build quality is great, the overall quality of the case, the finishes, everything is super solid. It feels like a quality item in your hand. Still, paying almost $400 for a quartz movement essentially. But nevertheless, whichever version you go for, I don't think you'll be disappointed. And in fact, I myself am quite impressed with Straton Watch Company as a company and what they were able to do with these watches. I appreciate you watching this video until the end. Please leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about these chronographs and what you think about the bullhead style of a chronograph. A few days ago, I posted a poll on my Instagram asking what do people prefer, the standard case or the bullhead case, and 70% preferred the standard case over the bullhead version. So I'm curious to see what people think on YouTube. By the way, today on my wrist, I'm wearing my vintage 1970s Chateau chronograph. This one has a very simple, basic movement. You can't even compare to the Bezel movement. Nevertheless, I still enjoy wearing this watch quite a bit. In the description of this video, there is a secret link. Have a look if you're curious. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.